standing room only in the World Gym Arena tonight, and Brad Gilmore, the fire marshal, is on speed dial for this one. They have been lining up all afternoon here in Houston, Texas, to witness history tonight. For the Blue Label of Professional Wrestling, he's Brad Gilmore, and I am Matt Topolsky for The Row, and we have a very, very special edition of Reality of Wrestling this week. And Brad, take the viewers at home, if you will, through how we got to the in-ring return of Booker T we're going to see this week.
I can't believe that we're here already. We're seeing Booker T tonight inside the Reality Wrestling ring. But how we got here is Brian Keith. Brian Keith took an opportunity that was placed in front of him to face the Grand Slam, the first ever Grand Slam champion in Reality of Wrestling history for that Reality of Wrestling championship. Brian Keith stepped up to the challenge, and he got the job done. But it wasn't without interference from The Row. And no, not the Reality of Wrestling, the Renegades of Wrestling. They came and interfered on Ryan Davidson's behalf. Booker T said, we're not having that. He restarted the match. Then, when we saw Ruthless Ryan Davidson and Brian Keith square off again in that rematch for the Reality of Wrestling Championship again, the Renegades of Wrestling interfere on Ryan Davidson's behalf. But this time, Brian Keith had a little backup, Matt Topolsky.
He did.
He had Fly Death, maybe the most popular tag team in the history of Reality of Wrestling, former Reality of Wrestling tag team champions. They came out to Brian Keith's aid, and that wasn't all. Booker T himself, the 5-time WCW champion, the 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, came out and made his presence felt and made this match that we're going to see a little bit later tonight.
And it is an epic clash that we're going to see on this edition. And Brad, this is the one thing that Ryan Davidson, I don't think, planned on coming into this, which, in my humble opinion, makes his team the underdog here tonight. You look at the Renegades of Wrestling, sure, they have caused a lot of havoc here at the Reality of Wrestling, but all of them are still relatively young to the sport of professional wrestling, pupils of Ryan Davidson's. However, on the other side, you have a 2-time Hall of Famer, you have a current Reality of Wrestling champion, and the former 2-time Reality of Wrestling tag team champions on the other team. This is stacking up to be the 95 Bulls, if you will,
right
on one side of the ring. What can Ryan Davidson do, if anything, to combat that with the Renegades?
Well, Ryan Davidson better hope he is drafted well and his team is looking like the Golden State Warriors in 2015, right? Ryan Davidson does. He is one of the most incredible athletes we've ever seen here at Reality of Wrestling. He's the first ever Grand Slam champion. He has that expert tutelage, right, from his past. Can he pass that on to these pupils? We're going to see, but it's not what the Renegades of Wrestling are used to. They're used to the numbers game. They're used to being able to gang up on one person, maybe 2 people. Tonight it's even squads. It's 4-on-4. It's an 8-man tag match. I like to think that experience and championship level experience weighs heavily in the squad of Booker T, Fly Death, and Brian Keith. Battle lines have been drawn, Matt Topolsky.
They absolutely
Battle
have.
lines have been drawn.
They absolutely have. Tonight is a recipe for an epic. On one side, a Grand Slam champion and his pupils. On the other, a 2-time Hall of Famer and the current Reality of Wrestling champion, along with Team Fly Death. It is an 8-man war, and it's right now. Team Ryan Davidson, also known as the Renegades of Wrestling. Ryan Davidson, along with his underlings, his students, his pupils, if you will. But I guarantee you that when they step in the ring with the former tag team champions, the current Reality of Wrestling champion, and the 2-time Hall of Famer, this will be a hell of a lot more than an internship.
Absolutely. Ryan Davidson, Dylan, Obi, Rudy. They're the four men who will be competing this evening. Big Dex and Big Rich going to be on the outside.
There it is, Brad Gilmore. The Davidson trick.
Sport a fresh cut too is Ryan Davidson. Almost looks like he enlisted and is ready for this war tonight because battle lines have been drawn.
Don't mind me, I'm just doing what I'm
Second Warren, line up.
supposed to do. Don't get mad at me.
Well, the former two-time Reality of Wrestling Tag Team Champions are dressed for war. Warren Johnson and Zach Mason are wearing those fatigues.
Just spend a couple bands and I got some more with me. Yeah. Hey, catch a buzz. I need a
And your tag partner, the Bounty Hunter, and your Reality of Wrestling champion, Brian Keith.
BK all day, Matt Topolsky, the bounty hunter, Brian Keith, the Reality of Wrestling champion, going to be joining Fly Death in this 8-man tag team match. Brian Keith has had the best stretch of his career as of late, and he looks to continue that momentum. With those three out, Matt, that can only mean one more man to come out.
And making his return, the owner of Reality of Wrestling, Booker T.
A thunderous roar echoes through the World Gym Arena for the two-time Hall of Famer. He has assembled his troops, and they will crawl through the trenches tonight. An 8-man war.
Booker T, Brian Keith, Fly Death, dressed in fatigues. And here he comes, the 5-time WCW champion, the 1-time World Heavyweight champion, the 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, Matt Topolsky. You can list off all 35 accomplishments he's had in his illustrious career.
Well, let's list off another. We are seeing Booker T tonight, but we are also seeing G.I. Bro.
America's greatest hero.
The energy in this building may blow a fuse.
And look at Booker T, looking real jacked, baby.
They were lining up around the building since 4 o'clock this afternoon for this opportunity to be a part of history. For only the second time since the final heat, Booker T returns to in-ring competition, or should I say, in-ring combat here tonight.
He is definitely ready to go to war, Matt Topolsky.
This is an 8-man tag matchup. Right now, it looks like a tornado.
It's underway. Battle lines have been drawn.
And they have been crossed.
And there's Booker T, Brian Keith, and Fly Death standing tall.
Well, we talked about it earlier, how young the athletes are. On Ryan Davidson's side here tonight, Brad Gilmore, it has to make Ryan Davidson's team the underdogs. You look at the experience, you look at the resume, the lineage standing in that ring right now. Ryan Davidson has a tall task ahead of him to organize these young recruits and get them ready for battle.
Absolutely. And look at Booker T. Book can't wait to get his hands on somebody. But you're right about Ryan Davidson. He's got to act as a team captain, as a player coach, and try to work with all this young talent, all this young and impressive talent.
The official's going to have to establish some kind of order here. Looks like the Renegades of Wrestling, Team Davidson, have chosen Rudy Garza.
Wait a minute though. Look, Booker T said, who's going to start this? Let me do it. We're going to see the Hall of Famer pretty early on here.
Rudy Garza exudes a hell of a lot of confidence, but he's in there with one of the most decorated legends in the history of professional wrestling, and that young man is a moment you will never forget.
And how can you not be intimidated by the physical presence, still at 54 years young, of Booker T? And the GI Bro chants start here at the World Gym Arena, as there is no one sitting down.
I mean, no disrespect meant to Rudy Garza, but come on. Booker T can have his way with Rudy Garza, and he's doing it right now.
Booker T, look at that.
You get the sense Booker T could just rip that arm off if he so choose.
I'm sure that he could. I mean, Matt Topolsky, I'm 27 years of age, and I've never looked as in good as a shape as Booker T does at 54 years of age. And think about all of the knowledge that he has, all the wisdom of being inside the squared circle. And look at this. Oh, big sidewalk slam for the two-time Hall of Famer.
Well, there's a sidewalk slam that may have put an end to Rudy Garza's 3-month career. Tag made. And here comes the bounty hunter, or should I say the American sniper tonight, the Reality of Wrestling champion, Brian Keith.
And look at this, Brian Keith, along with Team Fly Def, all seem a little extra confident tonight, and I'm sure that it adds to your confidence to have somebody like Booker T in your corner. But let's not get it twisted. Brian Keith is a champion in his own right. He is the standard bearer here in Reality of Wrestling.
An attempt early on here, and to clarify for everyone watching at home, this matchup is not elimination style. It is a first fall to a finish, and that means Rudy Garza needs to make a tag, and he desperately does. And here comes Dylan. Only 19 years old, Brad Gilmore.
Incredible.
This is his first match in Reality of Wrestling history, and he's stepping in the ring against Team Booker T.
Brian Keith should have the advantage here. Oh, nice move there by Dylan. Oh, better move there by Brian Keith.
That's the champ. Perfectly executed drop kick. Stuck to Dylan like Velcro. And now Warren Johnson, one half of Team Fly Def, who recently got back together, settled their differences. And their collective chemistry here tonight could play a huge part in this matchup. Fly Def, former two-time Reality of Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
And here's Obi. Obi, you want to talk about 19 years old. He is 17 years of age.
Incredible.
Is Obi, again in his Reality of Wrestling debut.
And conspicuous by his absence so far in this matchup has been Ruthless Ryan Davidson.
Well, he's still standing there on the corner, but, you know, maybe he's looking to bat cleanup.
Either looking to bat cleanup or to continue to do what he has been doing, and that's let the Renegades of Wrestling do his dirty work, which is what led us to this matchup here tonight.
Warren Johnson, one half of one of the best tag teams we've ever seen here in Reality of Wrestling. Team Fly Def, his partner Zach Mason on the outside.
And he's serving up that L right now in a 10 count.
Zach Mason, of course, won that Rise to Wrestling Royalty Tournament. A one-night tournament he won earlier this year. And here comes a man who is the first ever Grand Slam champion in Raw history, Ruthless Ryan Davidson, the Bear.
Well, up until this point, Team Booker T has looked laser focused. Will the momentum shift?
And look at Booker T. Look at Booker T. Not to cut you off, Matt Topolsky, but look at Booker T shouting plays almost, shouting advice to Warren Johnson. That's what Booker T does as the captain of his team.
Well, and again, led by example by starting off the action in the ring. Zach Mason will bring his athleticism and 110% kinetic energy into this battle, this war. A reenactment of the longest day, if you will, with G.I. Bro barking orders to one of his lieutenants, and here we go. Zach Mason and the Hurricane Pro and Wildcat Sports champion, the final boss, the Bear, jockeying for position. There's a drop kick that would make Bob Holly smile. Oh! Well, that time the shot connects, and then Zach Mason says, "Here's a shot for all of you." Single leg drop kick from Ryan Davidson, and now the Bear crawling out of hibernation, and the maul is on.
Well, he is the current Hurricane Pro and Wildcat Wrestling champion. Now Booker T trying to get involved here. So is Warren Johnson, the referee, sending him back to the corner. The referee does know that Booker T could fire him right now, right?
You know, I mean, everyone has a lot at stake here, including head official, our senior official, Isaac Bullion. We'll try and call this thing down the middle here tonight.
Now there
this
goes
could
Dylan.
dissolve into chaos again at any time.
Frequent tags from the Renegades of Wrestling and Team Ryan Davidson. And Rudy Garza, who recently had a pinfall victory over Will All Day, the former Reality Wrestling Television champion.
And might I add, Rudy Garza, who is still undefeated in singles competition since making his debut as well.
Absolutely. He has been a very, very impressive prospect coming out of that Renegades of Wrestling. Oh! But big Zach Mason. Corner of Team Booker T, all looking for a tag from Zach Mason because he has been getting beat up pretty good by Team Ryan Davidson.
And Zach Mason drugged back across enemy lines again.
Oh, look at that. Ryan Davidson mocking G.I. Bro, Brian Keith, and Warren Johnson.
Well, I'll tell you what. The Bear gets into a mode like this. Look out. Cover here. 1, 2. It's like one of those cringe-worthy moments in National Geographic.
And Ryan Davidson choking Zach Mason with that bandana, trying to hide it from the referee. And again, Booker T having words with Isaac Bullion.
Brad, you know, we talked about early on how Ryan Davidson's team has to be the underdog considering the experience on the other side of the ring. But imagine, if you will, a scenario in which Ryan Davidson is able to pull this off tonight. The only Grand Slam champion in Reality of Wrestling history who would have a win over Booker T's team.
It would be massive, Matt Topolsky. It would be massive. He'd be another notch in the belt for Ryan Davidson's career. As Zach Mason with a backpack stunner. And I'm trying to get over to the corner to make a tag.
The Row Nation rubbing shoulders here tonight. A standing room only crowd at the World Gym Arena. They lined up for over 3 hours to get in for this one. And here comes the Reality of Wrestling champion.
Oh, Brian Keith knocking out all members of the Renegades of Wrestling. And now him and Ryan Davidson, big lariat.
Brian Keith with that dead or alive mentality, and he's getting after the bear right now. Rodeo DDT! He captured the Road Championship with that move, and he almost brought home the bacon.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now there's an all-out brawl. Booker T taking it to Rudy Garza. Look at Booker T. Now they go to the outside. Oh! Well, Matt Tobolski, it's chaos
It's
out here.
absolute bedlam, as we suspected it would dissolve into again. But back in the ring where it matters, the Houston Livestock and Rodeo Show about to begin right here.
Oh, Ryan Davidson countering, swing and a miss. Beautiful power slam.
Snap power slam from the final boss, delivering an exclamation point in this one, and could that be enough? Now, he's calling for his signature Davidson driver. The champion, Insecurity to the back of the head. And G.I. Bro perched in the corner. But can Brian Keith reach across the Sahara and make that tag and change the momentum and the dynamic of this matchup? It is a war. Everything is at stake, and here comes the two-time Hall of Famer.
Booker T taking it to everybody. There goes Obi, the big sidekick. Scissor kick. Oh my goodness, Booker T showing off a little bit. Oh, wait a minute, Matt.
Why not?
Wait a minute.
Why not, Book?
what I'm seeing. Warren Johnson aligning himself with somebody like Ryan Davidson and the Renegades of Wrestling. And look, Matt, he's taken the Renegades of Wrestling t-shirt.
For God's sake, why, Warren? What the hell would motivate you to do something like this? To turn your back on your tag partner, your friend, your brother, along with your mentor? What a disgrace! What an absolute disgrace!
I've seen it, and I can still not believe it. Team Fly Death no more. Team Booker T takes an L. Warren Johnson turns the page and turns his back on his brothers.
Tonight, as much as it sickens me to say it, the road doesn't stand